Welcome to another piano lesson. I'm Dan Brown. In today's lesson, you're going to learn how to take a major chord and do the inversions of that chord. This is an absolutely must-know skill that you just have to be able to play piano. So if you're ready, we're going to get started right now. Today we're going to look at the chord E. It's a major chord. And I'm going to start with this position right here. This is called the root position. And on the chart, it's that first line with the violet color. I want you to play that with me. It's an E, a G sharp, and a B. And in the E major scale, those notes are just the first, third, and fifth notes that you play in that E major scale. And so that's it. That's the E major. This is called the root position. It's the very first place you can play the E chord, the E major. Now we're going to move. We're going to take this note. I'm just going to move it to the other side. That's where the word inversion comes from. Is something is turned or flipped or moved. So we're on line 2 with the yellow. So here you have your G sharp. I want you to play these with me, guys. Let's lay them down like this. G sharp, B, and E. That is called the first inversion. So we have root, and you have first inversion. It just means it's the first time that it's changed. Now let's move to that last one. Take your G sharp and move it here. That's called the second inversion. And you can see we have B, E, and G sharp. I don't like to give you homework, and I don't like to tell you to do exercises, but this is something that you can do. Just play through these 1, 2, 3. That's it. That's the shortest homework assignment you're ever going to have. So these 3 chords, and then after this, they start over again here. That's back with your root position again. Now, when I'm doing these lessons, I might say this is the first place you can play it, the second place you can play it, and the third place you can play it. That's just my preference for teaching people that are new to the piano. I think a lot of the language that is used in music can be confusing, so I might do it that way. When you have a chord like this, you can also add an extra note on the end, and that note that I'm playing with my pinky is just the same one that I have with my thumb. And there's things you can do. I guess I can show you. So say you're going to a 7. Watch. Used a little bit of pedal there. It's just a way to make your chord, to kind of stretch your chord out. Now I have to tell you this, with these chords, you are not playing just the same chord in the same position in the same number of notes. You can have a chord that's 2 notes, like if you're going to play honky tonk, and I'll show you that in a minute. You can have a 3-note chord, or you can have a nice big 4-note chord like this one right here. So in this position, we're just doubling up these G sharps here. You don't have to play this right now, guys. You can just watch. But I think it's important for you to know this, just that we're adding this extra note. A lot of time in ragtime, a lot of Scott Joplin songs were going, and there are a ton of places that you can do that in. So those are your 3 E chords, and that's how you practice them, just like that. 1, 2, 3. That's how you play them. You can go all the way up and all the way down if you want. I'm going to take each one of these positions and just show you some of the things you can do. This one right here in the root position, one thing I like to do is this. You can also do this. Something like that. It's also good for like a shuffle. by the way, this is not a commercial, but I am going to get some shuffle lessons ready. It's super fun and it's really not that hard. If you're doing the trails bass, you're kind of already right in this area, and that's what you're going to be doing, is just bouncing these. So guys, look for those. The shuffle lessons are going to be really fun. Your right hand will be going like this, and it might go. That brings me to the other thing. You can do kind of like some rock and roll stuff here, like that. So that's that first position. Now here, this one is kind of best for moving in and moving out, or moving up and moving down. So there's the E, we call that an E6. There's a diminished chord, there's a diminished chord, and back to your E6 again. So just notice how these chords are all tied into each other. And if you think that sounds kind of like the moves that you do with the honky tonk, it does. Here's the honky tonk. It's right there. With the next one, this I love this chord. I love this chord position. You can do those same things with the, and you can also walk down. That's if you're playing country. There's also a honky tonk thing that I haven't shown you yet. I could do this in a honky tonk lesson part 2, that it goes up like this. And it keeps going. And then from here, it would walk down to there. Now, that's what you can do with just the chords. Now, I'm going to show you a couple of things. There are chords right next to your one. So this is called the 1 chord. If you're in E, this is the 1 chord. Doesn't matter where you play it. It's still E. It's still the 1 chord. Now right next door, there's a 2 chord. This is called F sharp minor. And you can play it in inversions too. And I'm going to do some lessons about those. But what this does with E is that maybe the best place I could show you is right here. How it just moves in and out between those, from E to the F sharp minor and back. You can do that from any one of these E chords. This is why the inversions are so powerful. You really do have a lot you can do. Now, this is something that if you haven't seen it yet, I want you to see it. I have some lessons called A Love Song. That's the title. A Love Song from 1, this is 1, watch, to 6. To 6. That's the 6 chord. And guess what? If you have an E, any E, and you walk down to the C sharp minor, well, this isn't a minor, it's just a note, it's just a C sharp, but it becomes a C sharp minor 7. So whether you play your E here, and I'm talking about you're playing E in the right hand, when you add this bass note, it's a C sharp minor 7, and that's very powerful for you.